That's boxing at its finest right there. You heard it. They said it. Make that bet. Everything on the line. You know, that's old school right there. That's everything on the line. I just know that he's not the same person that we seen the last time we seen him in the ring.
If I get him where I need him to be, he's gonna sleep for sure. Soften him up, then fry him.
When they watch us in here working, they saying we going bang, 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 bang. There you go. Good. There you go. When he get in that ring, he's on a mission. Because he understands that he got to put his pants on, training wheels going. You got what you for. Let's get it now. Slow it down. Good work, good work. He ain't playing with nobody. You step in that ring with him, be prepared.
Gervonta Davis has returned to an intense training camp alongside Calvin Ford, as excitement regarding his comeback and future blockbuster fights continues building steadily. Likewise, Calvin Ford believes a major fight could unlock an even more dangerous version of Davis inside the ring. Ford suggests Davis is mentally in a very strong place currently and may be prepared to compete with a different level of aggression and focus.
You know what I'm saying? This fight might bring that beast back. You always talk about, I don't want to do certain things because I need my beast to be in me, you know, and being around him, he's at a good place right now, a great place.
Meanwhile, Joe Rogan describes Davis as a patient puncher who gradually breaks opponents down before suddenly unleashing devastating knockout power. Rogan argues Davis completely trusts his punching ability and only requires one clean opening to change absolutely everything in a fight.
Tank is one of the most interesting fighters to watch because he's so different. His style is so different. You know, he's so economical. Like, he puts pressure on guys without throwing too many punches, and then starts to figure holes out, and the way he can explode and move in with one shot, my God.
Yeah, he very explosive. He's very explosive, and, you know, man, he be cracking them dudes. Hey, he be putting them to sleep.
Just cracking people. Yeah. And he has so much confidence in his power.
At the same time, Oscar de la Hoya praises Davis for the intensity and professionalism he consistently brings into the ring whenever he is mentally locked in. De la Hoya believes Davis's preparation and dedication before fights play a significant role in why he remains such a dangerous force in boxing today.
First and foremost, he's a very nice human being. I really like him as a fighter, as a person. He might be a little over his head with Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is, I mean, to say the least, he's a beast. He really is. He's a tremendous fighter. He's a dedicated fighter when it comes to training and fighting and making sure that he's in optimal conditions when he steps inside that squared circle.
Continuing the discussion, Roy Jones Jr. believes Davis reaches another level whenever he is fully committed and mentally focused. He argues many fans underestimate Davis's complete boxing ability because of distractions away from the sport, but warns that a fully focused Davis can create serious problems for anyone competing in the division.
When Tank is disciplined and got his mind on right, Tank is a problem for anybody. Tank can fight better than most people think he can. It's just that sometimes his outside antics get the better of him, and it makes people think less of him, but don't underestimate Tank Davis. If Tank is motivated and ready to fight, Tank is a problem for anybody.
Expanding on his thoughts, Roy Jones Jr. leans toward Stevenson in a potential fight with Davis because of Stevenson's consistency and control both inside and outside the ring. However, Jones still believes Davis remains the one fighter capable of changing a fight through his explosiveness, instincts, and exceptional natural talent.
Right now, Shakur wins it because of his discipline. Because he showed against Pitbull that he can stay very disciplined all night. And he's the type of guy, he don't really do a lot of crazy stuff in his life normally. So it's like discipline is a thing that is not only exercised inside the ring, it's exercised also outside the ring. And as we see, sometimes Gervonta has problems with discipline. but we have never seen Shakur have problems with discipline. We've seen him be more disciplined at the right times than we've seen him not have discipline. So with the fight being like it is right now, I would lean towards Shakur because of his discipline, but don't get it twisted. If somebody could beat him, Tank Davis would be that person because of his intangible.
On the other hand, Calvin Ford acknowledges Stevenson's boxing ability and believes Stevenson would likely prioritize control and caution during a fight with Davis. Ford suggests that this particular style could create a much different matchup from what many people currently expect to see.
Shakur, he's the better boxer.
Yeah.
That's why I always make this. He would make the fight boring just to win.
Right. Yeah, I think you would too.
Dude, I want to put Youngin in that type of situation. You know what I'm saying? If it doesn't make sense. Because fans come to see what? A fight.
On the contrary, Timothy Bradley leans towards Stevenson in a potential clash with Davis because of Stevenson's ability to control distance, manage exchanges, and remain composed under pressure. Still, Bradley cautions that Davis possesses rare knockout power capable of changing an entire fight with one perfectly clean shot.
You know, if you really think about the style matchup between these two, you got one of the best defensive fighters, if not the best defensive fighter in the game. You got one of the most accurate fighters, you know, power punches in the game as well. But you have one that throws less punches. He probably had how many of these top guys at 135 pounds, he throws the least amount of punches. You got a guy like Shakur who showed you that he has offense. You know, I think stylistically would favor Shakur, you know, based upon his defense and his offense now. But again, all the way locked in, all it takes is one. Take, you know, and if he lands that one, man, it could, I don't know, it could be bad for Shakur, it could be not. Maybe Shakur takes it. You know what I mean? We really haven't seen Shakur get hit with something that, you know, that really got his attention, you know, or changed his.
Furthermore, Bradley strongly favors Stevenson against Davis because he doubts Davis is completely committed to the sport at this stage of his career. Bradley believes a mentally distracted Davis would struggle to keep pace with Stevenson's discipline, focus, and technical control throughout an entire fight.
If he does happen to face Gervonta, how do you see that fight playing out?
If Gervonta is all the way locked in, I personally think that Gervonta Davis is 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You can't be a 1 foot in and 1 foot out type of fighter. I think Gervonta Davis is looking for a big payday and then he's going to sell off. So if that Gervonta Davis get in the ring with Shakur, I got Shakur all day, 7 days a week.
Adding to the discussion, Greg Hackett views Stevenson as a more calculated and tactical fighter, but believes Davis operates on a completely different level because of his instincts, explosiveness, and natural reactions. Hackett argues Davis creates chaos inside the ring through his unpredictability, making him dangerous even against highly skilled and intelligent boxers.
Shakur is the better chess master, the better thinker. Tank is the better animal. Tank more like naturally, like his reaction time is countering his ability, agility, speed and power all mixed together. He more of an animal. I mean, Shakur more, you know, I'm gonna show you this, but then show you that. And then you thought you saw that, but then no, it was this. And then, you know what I mean? He the trickery guy. He like the 3-card Molly guy. Like, which hand is in it? You know what I mean? He crafty.
Continuing the breakdown, Bernard Hopkins views Davis as a fighter who thrives on catching opponents the instant they become too comfortable during exchanges. Hopkins believes Davis reads reactions quickly and punishes even the slightest mistake, turning close-range battles into dangerous situations within only a matter of seconds.
Tank carries the power. He's sneaky. Explosive.
Yeah.
You think you're doing something, and he rides off that overconfident, where now he recognized this old school.
He's so interesting
Baltimore, Maryland. He's so old school. You know what old school is?
Yeah.
Anybody that's throwing punches is open to get hit. Anybody and everybody that throw punches, you leave an opportunity. It's who get there first.
Breaking down the technical side of the matchup, Teddy Atlas views Davis as one of the sport's most complete fighters because of his ability to adapt to any style inside the ring. Atlas believes Davis can control distance, wear opponents down from multiple angles, and capitalize once he spots openings to finish the fight.
From a technical basis, he is so complete. He can go get you. He could go inside. He could go outside. He could use the ring, which he does often, and he can counterpunch. He can do so many things. He can time you. He can go to the body and the head, of course. And, and he finishes well.
Continuing his thoughts, Atlas believes Davis separates himself through the calm and disciplined manner in which he controls every moment inside the ring. Atlas argues Davis never loses awareness during exchanges, blending patience, intelligence, and measured aggression to remain dangerous without placing himself out of position.
One of your greatest responsibilities is to never let the game get ahead of you. Never get outside the game. Never get outside the game. And he never lets the game, he being Davis, never lets it get away from him. Never lets it get ahead of him. He stays contained. He stays controlled. He won't go in there. Even when he's being aggressive, he's taking little steps because he's all along the way. He's aggressively cautious. Aggressively cautious, where he understands the domain that he's in. There's never a moment where you don't understand. He's cerebral, I guess is what I'm saying. He's cerebral inside that ring.
Adding even more intrigue, Robert Garcia considers Davis the leading fighter in the sport because of how complete he has become inside the ring. Garcia believes Davis combines sharp timing, precision, and knockout power in a manner that makes him one of the most dangerous fighters in boxing today.
I think Tank, at this point, he's unbeatable at the lightweight division against any of the world champions. I think he's the top guy right now at that division. He had a great performance. He has his timing, his power, accuracy. Everything's great, man. He's the perfect fighter right now.
Meanwhile, Eddie Hearn views Stevenson as one of the few fighters capable of giving Davis a serious challenge, believing the matchup will become one of boxing's biggest events. However, Leonard Ellaby strongly disagrees, arguing Davis controls fights on his own terms and still possesses too much for Stevenson to successfully overcome.
Tank against Shakur is one of the biggest fights in the sport. I think Tank is so exceptional. It's going to take someone as good as Shakur to give him a real fight, and I love that fight. I love that.
What? Shakur can't beat Tank.
I disagree.
He beat all the other fighters.
I disagree.
He can't Tank.
I disagree.
Tank
loses rounds.
Tank decides to do what he wants to in certain fights.
Me and you could have a big bet on that fight.
Most definitely.
I think Shakur's the man to beat him.
Shakur cannot Tank. He's a very good fighter. A lot of respect for him, what he's done in the ring. Got a good team around him, but he can't Tank. Can't beat Tank.
I disagree with you on that.
Analyzing the matchup, Terrence Crawford acknowledges Davis as one of boxing's elite talents, but still sides with Stevenson because of Stevenson's ability to control space and neutralize attacks. Crawford believes Stevenson's style would force Davis into a much more complicated fight than the type he normally encounters.
Are you saying that because that's your man and you don't like Tank?
No. Hey, like I said, I respect Tank. Boxing, he's one of the ones.
Yeah.
We're gonna take his personality and personal things out of it. But boxing, he's definitely talented. You know what I mean? And he's definitely got that it. And he's definitely respected in boxing. But Shakur is a different fighter. Shakur is different. People may call him boring. People may say he can't punch. But they say the same thing about Floyd. Because they defensive fighters.
Yeah.
Tank is not going to be able to hit Shakur like he hit everybody else.
Adding another perspective, Sean Porter predicts a fight between Stevenson and Davis will become far more difficult and tactical than many people expect. Porter believes Stevenson's discipline and ring intelligence would force both fighters into a much more calculated and technical contest once they're inside the ring.
I said everybody thinks that Tank is gonna go in there and just knock out Shakur.
That's not gonna happen.
But it shouldn't have taken this fight
I knew he couldn't
for
knock.
people to realize
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Right.
I knew that too, but yeah.
Shakur is a defensive specialist.
And I've been
It's
saying this for a long time. If you pay attention to how Tank would react whenever Shakur's name came up, I was like, yo, it's something that Tank knows that most people don't know or understand. There's something that he sees in Shakur. It could be the fact that Shakur was a 2016 silver medalist. You know,
He might got a lot to do with it.
He's that, the silver child of the country, and there's no telling. But this is what I've always known. It ain't just a big straight left or a big right hook coming from Tank that's going to end that night. That night is going to be the most strategical you've seen both these guys ever be in a fight.
Furthermore, Porter believes Stevenson's control and ring awareness could create the type of frustrating fight Davis rarely encounters inside the ring. However, Porter also argues that a matchup of that magnitude could bring out a completely different version of Davis because elite opponents are often what push great fighters to unlock new levels in their game under pressure.
You get in there with Shakur, it's going to remind me of Deontay Wilder fighting Tyson Fury.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Because what you going to do when you come across a motherfucker can't knock out?
Yeah.
Only thing you going to do is just get more frustrated.
That's a terrible analogy.
I'm just saying.
Only reason why I'm saying it's a terrible analogy is because Tank Davis. Remember, you've heard Coach Cal say this all the time. He says it's the same thing, and I know exactly what he means. We just waiting on somebody to pull it out of him. You ever hear him say that?
Yeah, yeah.
We got so much. It's just we ain't been able to show it because ain't nobody been able to pull it out of him. We looking forward to the big fights. We looking forward to the big matchups because those are the kind of people that's going to pull it out of him. So with a fight with Shakur, you're going to see this boxing style that you don't usually get from Tank.
On the other hand, Andre Rozier views a fight between Davis and Stevenson as one of boxing's most evenly matched and intriguing stylistic battles. Rozier believes a matchup represents the classic collision between explosive offense and sharp technical control. He suggests the fight can become extremely difficult for either fighter if momentum begins shifting too heavily toward the other side.
Tank, that's like my ride and die. I like guys that get people in trouble and knock them out. So I'm always riding with Tank. It will be a spectacular bout. I mean, you have the age-old puncher versus boxer at its best. Now, if Tank allows Shakur to get ahead too far, then he might not be able to catch up to him. On the flip side of that, if Tank gets in there and Shakur makes a mistake, it only takes one for the lights to be out. So I'm waiting to see it. I want to see it, and I'm looking forward to it.
Even Mike Tyson believes a fully focused Davis remains one of the most dangerous fighters in boxing because of the intensity and explosive ability he brings into the ring. Tyson admits highly skilled fighters like Stevenson could present serious problems for Davis. Tank possesses a rare kind of talent that very few opponents can truly handle at his absolute best.
He's a great fighter. He's a great fighter. Especially when he's serious about it. I don't know if he's as serious as he used to be. When he was serious, he was a hell of a fighter. Nobody came close. He's the only one I gave a chance against Shakur and that guy, Keyshawn Davis, they're scary fighters too because they're sophisticated. The other guy's sophisticated than me, but Tank is just a force of nature. You just gotta give him the credit. Even though he's talking stuff, he's a man.
Continuing the breakdown, Coach Breadman views Stevenson and Davis as two elite fighters capable of creating one of boxing's biggest matchups. Edwards believes Stevenson's versatility and confidence could make the fight significantly more competitive and unpredictable than many fans currently expect heading into such a contest.
Shakur's special is that he can win fights more than one different way. I always thought Shakur and Tank is a great fight, and I still do. But Shakur seems super confident that he could beat Tank. So the only way to figure that out is if they get in the ring. I think they both special, and unfortunately they haven't fought yet, and they're around the same weight classes. So hopefully we get to see it before somebody loses bad or be past their prime, and then we got to wonder what would have happened if they fought on their best day.
Moreover, Coach Breadman argues that Stevenson would need a patient and highly controlled game plan to overcome Davis rather than turning the fight into a physical battle. Breadman explained Stevenson's best path would come through sharp movement, careful shot selection, and limiting mistakes because giving Davis too many openings could allow the fight to change extremely quickly.
Shakur Stevenson will have to fight to win that fight. I don't think it gets appreciated enough in this era. I think he's going to have to fight a risk-free fight, score points, a non-violent fight, dumb the fight down, not take any chances, just score points like kind of like amateur boxing. Don't try to put any power on his shot, just touch Gervonta and score points and get out of the fight. And I think that he can win, but I don't think that that style of fighting is appreciated enough in this era for him to win. Because if he tries to sit down, bang Gervonta out and walk him down, because Shakur actually, they say he can't punch. He's not a big puncher, but he's good at punching to the body. He has pretty good body shots. Gervonta Davis is a master counterpuncher. If you reach down to his body, he's going to clip you.
Kenny Ellis dismissed Stevenson's confidence regarding a potential fight with Davis, insisting everything changes once opponents are forced to deal with Tank's pressure inside the ring. Both men believe Davis remains a fighter everyone targets because he is still viewed as the man to beat throughout boxing.
You really think he's not going to get touched?
Sound like it. If you don't get touched, I'll never ever train fighters again.
I ain't seen him fight nobody that was a killer already.
And everybody he fought touched him. Everybody he fought touched him.
Let's really look at when you talk about them guys. Who did they fight was that next to killer? You get what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying?
I feel what you're saying.
How do you hire Bob Arm too? Because he's not gonna let that shit happen.
I just don't pay attention to them. When they start fighting, first, of course you're gonna want to fight Tank. They know Tank is the best right now.
Still, Davis pushes back against the growing praise surrounding Stevenson at lightweight, questioning whether Stevenson has truly faced the kind of challenges that come with the division. Davis suggests a higher level of competition could eventually force Stevenson into situations that he has not fully experienced before in his career.
Contemporaries have a lot to say these days. Shakur Stevenson, well, of course, he's now 135 after all that stuff, and then Devin Haney.
Right, so why people even talk like he the best at, he didn't even fight at 135 yet.
Right.
He didn't even have power at 126, 30 or none of that.
He is good.
Okay. How can you, all that's just okay. How can you stop people that can actually hit? No matter all that boxing, you gonna get hit. What you gonna do when you get hit?
At the same time, Stevenson suggests a growing tension between himself and Davis comes from two elite fighters pursuing the same position at the top of boxing. Stevenson hints that the energy between them naturally changed once both men began viewing each other as genuine threats within the sport.
Competition. As you get older, you start to know what competition is, and he kind of looked at me like I feel like I was a threat. Which is rightfully so. Like, I don't blame him for the way that he looked at me. But it is what it is. It's two guys that just want to be the best in our sport, and we were ready to lay it all on the line.
Did he say to you, like, yo, I don't want to be friends, or we can't, or is it just like a gradual thing where it started to become more distant?
Now you just know energy. You know energy. Once you feel the energy that's coming at you, you understand, like, okay.
As Gervonta Davis continues working behind the scenes alongside Long, the anticipation surrounding his comeback continues growing stronger. With elite names still circling the division, many believe the next chapter of Tank's career could finally deliver the type of high-pressure fights fans have been waiting years to witness. And if those moments arrive, they could force Davis to reveal even more layers of his game inside the ring. At the same time, the growing tension surrounding potential clashes with fighters like Shakur Stevenson continues, adding even more intrigue to the discussion. Once those elite matchups finally take place, the focus may come down to who truly belongs at the top of boxing today. But what do you think? Could Gervonta Davis still prove he is the most dangerous fighter in the sport when the biggest challenges finally arrive? If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more boxing breakdowns and behind-the-scenes coverage.